Hello everyone, it's Helena Bird and today I'm going to be working in my Teddy Bears High Tea glue book. We'll get to gluing in just a moment and I'll switch to voiceover, but first a little bit of teddy bear housekeeping. In case you missed my setup video, you can check that out on my channel, and I will say I've done a little bit of work off screen and it's already looking quite chunky. So in the first video I said I used a spiral bound notebook so that I could remove pages as I was going, and as I was seeing this thickness increase, I've already removed about 20 pages. And to be honest, I feel like I'm just starting the project, so goodness knows how thick this is going to be by the end. If you didn't see the last video on this project, then I'll just flag that I am using printables from my own shop. But as I said in that video, and as I will demonstrate in this tutorial, you do not need to buy my printables if you haven't got the money, or even if you just don't want to. There are lots of materials probably lying around in your own stash that you can use, and I really go to town with that in this particular tutorial. If you want a free taste of Teddy Bear's High Tea printable, there is one sitting in my shop. Even though it's in my shop, you download it for free. So just follow the link below for that, and you can have some really cute teddy bears to cut out and put in your project completely free of charge. I send them with love. Okay. Let's get into this project. I've got some really exciting page ideas, and I can't tell you how many avenues this project has opened up for me. So before I get started on today's spreads, I just wanted to show you the first page in this glue book, because in the last video, I was spending quite a lot of time fiddling around with it. I just added some lace and added an extra flower detail at the top, and to me this page is done. And you will see as I go through this book, sometimes I literally will just put one big hero page down, maybe add some lace, and that will be it. It will be done, because I just want to enjoy that image and look at it rather than cover it in lots of collage. I call these pages my quick win pages, because it is literally just a few components and then you get this lovely result. And sometimes when you're glue booking, you do need that. I think you just need some pages that are just simple, quick, and you just have this lovely result at the end. So here I'm starting what will become a recipe page. Can you have a recipe page in a glue book? I don't know, but I just created one anyway. It's not something that has ever occurred to me in the past to glue a recipe into a glue book, but I did find this recipe that I really liked in an old Daphne's Diary magazine, and it was for strawberry cake, and I had some strawberry napkin. And remember what I was saying at the beginning, at the top of the video, that the printables are a starting point if you want to use them. If you don't want to use them, you've probably got lots of things in your stash that will go with this theme. So I am putting down these strawberry napkins, and I've got my pieces of ephemera ready to go over the top. I've got my bakery bear, and I've got a few of these in my printable pack, sitting in the window of her tea room and baking her cakes and icing them and getting them all lovely. And I thought that was the perfect image to go with this strawberry cake recipe. I also happen to have some strawberries that I cut out of one of my fussy cut books, the kind of ones that you can buy on Amazon, the kind of printable books with lots of images to cut out. I got those for my birthday, and I just decided to blend that in with the printables that I had. It's amazing what you can create from your own stash, and having this theme of teddy bear tea room has made me realize how much stuff I've got sitting in my stash that would lend itself to that theme. So even if you don't do a teddy bear tea room theme, if that's not your jam, I do recommend, just as an exercise, choosing a glue book theme and seeing where it takes you. It doesn't have to be a particularly long glue book. I mean, I would say you could probably get away with doing just sort of 10 pages on a theme, and just shop your stash and see how much stuff you use. I can't even tell you how long these strawberry napkins have been sitting in my stash, waiting for that perfect project. Well, here it is. And when it comes to these fussy cut books that I got given for my birthday and Christmas, I started cutting out of them. And then I wondered, well, what am I going to do with all these images? Some of them, they don't really speak to me just as they are. But give yourself a theme and suddenly you find ways of using them. I think things like recipe pages are such a quick win in a glue book, just like I was saying before with the big full page images and just a little bit of lace detail or some other little embellishments, and you're done. And if you want to add more later, you always have that option. But for now, I'm going to call this page pretty much done. I've got strawberries, I've got cake, I've got the word strawberry cake, and I've got my little bakery bear, so cute in the corner there. It's time to move on to another spread, and I'm going to just put a large berry image over this gorgeous background paper. And today I'm not going to do anything more than that because I love this background paper that I am working on right now. In the last video, I added some trim to the top of it, so it's already had a little bit of lace embellishment, but I don't want to do too much to detract from that paper because I tell you, I am going to print off that paper so many times. When I first generated it in Canva, I couldn't believe that something so beautiful had come out of words in a computer. And I will be not just using it in my crafting projects, I'll be using it as wrapping paper. I love it that much. So just a simple berry image over that. I've trimmed quite a bit of the tablecloth off at the bottom because I want as much of the backing paper to show through as possible. Again, I may come back at a later date and add some more to that. I don't know. But I'm just going to add a little bit of trim at the bottom, and today I'm going to call it done. It's interesting actually because I was listening a few weeks back to a video from Marguerite Miller, who is such a wonderful collage artist. And if you're not already following Marguerite Miller, she is a huge inspiration. And she was talking about things that she wished she'd known at the beginning of her crafting career or at the beginning of her glue booking career. And one of them was that it was okay to, use AI images, or, that you can make your own mind up about that. It is something that I have struggled with, and I know that people in the community do have very strong opinions about that. And I think that's cool. I think that whatever your opinion is, that is okay, as long as you don't mind other people changing their minds, as I have, or exploring it as they wish. And I told that story in the last Teddy Bear Tea Room glue book video, how I came to make printables. But when you come to make printables, you suddenly realize exactly how much time and effort goes into making them. People think, oh, you just tap a few buttons on a computer and hey presto, you've got a perfect image. It's not like that at all, especially if you are trying to generate a particular aesthetic and world, as I am. So I remember Marguerite Miller going back to her video saying, oh, I could generate my own images, but it would just be so time consuming. And I thought, she understands that making printables is not some easy thing that people just do in 10 minutes and then make a million from it. It's really not like that at all. And it is very time consuming to get just the right images. So when I finally landed on that blue paper that's on the opposite page I'm working on now, I was ecstatic because I had worked on getting that background paper for quite some time, getting it just right. So this page that I'm working on now is more of a sort of scrapbooky page. I already had the label in the background and I just put that down as a starting point when I was making the background. I did go through off camera and put some tea-dyed paper on the pages I hadn't put a background on yet. And my thinking with that was that it just gave the eye a bit of a rest from all the gorgeous papers that I created for the printables and the things that I pulled out of my stash in the last video. So I'm working on one of those tea-dyed pages now, and I had that huge picture of a cake, which I cut in half. It was cut out of a book, and I will use the other half in another spread. I just want to give the illusion that this cake is kind of in the room. I've got another baker bear up there in the left-hand corner. So my idea is that Baker Bear is working on this cake and that the little bears we can see pictured are drinking their tea and eating their cake and enjoying all that. And then around them is dancing sort of all the biscuits and cakes and honey and tea that they're enjoying with the cake. And it is much more of a kind of scrapbooky feel. It's not a kind of carefully laid out composition. I just wanted to glue down these images and create a little story in my head. I've got the sort of Honeywick tea rooms label there to kind of point out that they're all enjoying this in the Honeywick tea room. And it's not really like a clear story, it's just like a little scenario in my head. I do like to make a little story or scenario when I'm doing things like this. It just helps me decide where the papers go without having too much drama. And I think I've got a little bit addicted to putting lace on these pages because I finish up gluing down all of the paper images and then I'm looking at it and I'm looking at the lace on the right hand page. And I'm looking at my box of lace just off screen and I'm thinking, oh, I have got a lot of lace and it would be quite nice to add some lace details, but I don't want to overdo it. And I think, well, I've sort of already overdone it on this page. I just wanted to go for a really scrapbooky feel where everything was all over the place. There's a saying where I come from, in for a penny, in for a pound. If you're going to do something, you may as well go big. And that is something that comes out a lot in my crafting. Subtlety is not my strong suit. So ultimately, once I've got all these paper pieces glued down, I do go to my lace stash and I look for something, anything, to kind of gently embellish what I've already put down. I didn't want anything that would obscure the papers too much. I really liked the pieces that I'd chosen. So I was trying to think of something that would kind of give a little pop to the page, but wasn't going to obscure my papers too much. Here I am looking through my stash, looking to see if I've got anything. I'm like, there's something missing from this page. What is it? Is it a bear? Is it an extra teacup? Is it a plate of cakes? This is me trying to figure out, I know I want something else. I'm looking at that lace. I'm thinking teapots, cakes, add more cakes and teapots. Yeah, okay, that might be okay. But ultimately, I think I always knew that lace would come into this composition because it just seems to be such a major theme in this book. And I spoke last time about how glad I am that it is because it means that I'm using up lace that has been sat in a drawer for so long. Yes, I still feel you can see here that I need something else and I'm auditioning several things. What shall I put here? Should I put anything here or not? That slice of cake I think has been auditioned about 5 times. And it is sort of difficult to know when to stop. I'm thinking of starting another glue book, which is all about stopping. And when I start it, I will do a video about it. Because knowing when to stop, it's not my strong suit, as this page probably conveys. So here I am putting my lace details on. It was just cut off an old vintage doily that I found in a thrift store. And again, this just shows, if you look at this page, how much of it is printables. At least 50% is stuff from magazines and lace that I've collected. So the printables for me are a lovely starting point, but they are not everything. And I think that's the place I'm happiest creating with printables. I hope this glue book gives you the impression that you don't have to stick with one mode of creation in a glue book, even if you've got a theme. You know, I've got some pages that are very simple, just a couple of images glued down. And then I've got something like this, which is completely scrapbook style and is chaotic and varied and just a mishmash of things. And I may well add more to this page. This is not the end for this page. I look at all of these pages that I'm showing you as a work in progress, and I may add something to them and I may not. So this is a great start, and I may yet come in and fill in even more of the gaps on this page, believe it or not. So now it's time for a look at the pages I have made in this session. So here's a close-up of my scrapbooky page right next to the very simple page with the lovely background that I adore. I think I probably will try and mix up, as I have done on this double spread, busyness next to a more quiet design. And I think that'll be good for me in terms of getting some quick wins in the glue book, but also in terms of making sure that the eye gets a bit of a rest. And here is my strawberry cake recipe. I am very tempted to think long and hard about making an actual glue book that is just recipes with the bears. So I may yet photocopy this and put it into another book that is a whole new start to a new glue book where I just glue in recipes and bears. So I'm definitely thinking about that because that would be the funnest recipe book ever. I really hope that you found this video interesting and inspiring and that you've had a bit of a laugh along with me as well as I've been gluing down these bears and their tea time antics. There'll be another video on the channel soon. Until then, take care and happy creating.